Okay, so what's up, guys? This is the first ever Dunbar Outdoors podcast, and today we're going to be talking about how we set up trail cameras, where we set up trail cameras, like where to set up trail cameras,
and
when
why.
to set,
Yeah, why we set up.
So that's what we're going to be talking about with. We're going to be talking with Name's Owen. Go subscribe to his channel.
Name's Owen right there. Yeah, we're gonna be talking to him. He's really cool YouTube channel. But yeah, it's our first podcast. Give us a comment.
We never really do this stuff.
But give us a comment if you want more of this. But yeah, we'll get started.
What we're going to be talking about, like Brody can go first.
So where I put up trail cameras, well, like it's kind of weird, but like I put up trail cameras like most people is on trails, or like sometimes I make scrapes, like
mock scrapes. It's where you get like a grapevine or tie it onto a rope in the tree.
And that's not necessarily a mock scrape. You can go into like just like getting a big branch above you and like break it. You want it on flat ground most of the time.
Hey, and one thing to mention about mock scrapes: do not use your boot or anything like that because deer will smell you.
Yes.
Yeah, don't use. When you're scraping, you always want to use something that's natural, like a deer can smell. Deer can smell much, like usually you're not going out in the woods with like your straight up hunting stuff. You're going to be going on in the regular hunting season, but you would be going out in like your regular clothes, just like check your camera real quick and then leave. But so those deer are going to smell that scent from your clothes, and they're gonna know danger was here. And so using it being as natural as possible, like grabbing a stick around and scraping with that and putting scent into it is fine. I think I've had the most success doing that. I've never really
Do you know what the stuff you put on it is?
So I've put
Isn't it like deer butter or something?
Yeah, it's branch butter. You can get that at Black Widow.
You just go online and
Black Widow scents or something like that.
just
I think.
look up.
But it's
Branch
deer butter. It's like branch butter. You can put on mock scrapes and stuff. But yeah,
you can put it like on any scrape, pretty much. So.
And I mean, I like putting them on there, like trail cameras. I have to set them high because of the bear. They kill us in Virginia.
Yeah, we've had a lot of bears, coyotes, bobcats.
Yeah, I like setting on scrapes. It's because you can get does and you can get bucks in the mock scrapes, and they'll all hit it. And usually, like if you have doe, they'll put their scent on it and it attracts most of the bucks.
Yeah.
From what my experience. But what do you think, Owen?
Yeah, I think that is a good point. I've never really done mock scrapes before.
Yeah.
I normally just, I thought I figured out this hunting season. Most of the time, I would suggest getting the deer butter and putting on all the scrapes. So that it'll smell good, you know.
Yeah. It attracts deer pretty well. It's supposed to be like they're gland on their face. They rub on branches when they're doing an actual scrape. So they rub their face on that, which has like their gland comes off on the branch, and that's what attracts more and more deer to like make it a official scrape. But one thing that I found, if you find like a trail on top of a ridge, say you found a trail on top of the ridge, some days you need to go out and walk. Some days you just need to just go out and find trails, find where the deer are at, find oak trees where they've been scattered around, and you follow those trails out. And
I just remember whenever we were like walking around one time and we were setting up cameras and we just saw this scrape, and like we were in a hurry, so I just set it up on there, and out of nowhere there's just an 8-pointer right there.
Yeah,
on the camera.
And just going, mostly if you're going out and just going out on a day where you don't off season where you're not hunting, even when you're in hunting season, just go out without a gun and just or a bow. Just go out and just learn more things about the deer, because you can go out and check trails you've never even seen in your life, and you go out and walk in the same spots, and there's a trail right there. Follow it out somewhere, and you might meet trails, and you might take a trail camera with you and just put it up right where those trails meet, like a pinch point right on top of a ridge, or just deer crossing over maybe a big oak. You can throw it on a big oak, and they'll be on the acorns sometime.
Yeah, another thing about trail cameras, like you can pattern deer so good that you will be able to know exactly where they are at what time of the day, like what time they walk through this trail, what time they get up.
Yes,
something like that.
And that's the good thing about cell cams, because cell cams can send them to your phone exactly when it happens. And
we don't have cell cams.
We don't have cell cams. Do you use any cell cams, Owen?
No, my grandfather has one. I don't think he's used it yet. But another thing a lot of people I've seen do for cell cams is they put them on trails that lead to their tree stand.
Yeah.
So when they get a picture of a deer, they know it's coming right to them, so they can get set up and ready.
Yeah, that's like a really good way to hunt.
Yeah, that's
one
way to
be
do it.
Ready.
Yeah. But I think, and setting up trail cameras is not a hard thing to do. It's just you're trying to learn as much as you can about the deer. And I mean that's.
If you want to pattern a deer really good, I would suggest putting trail cameras up mid-August, early September, mid-September, something before season.
Yeah. Because these bucks, they start growing their antlers in about, I'd say June.
June.
Like June, they start getting those nubs on their antlers.
April. May,
like in April, we were out turkey hunting in April, and we seen these big bucks with huge nubs on their head.
And also, I just got home from church, and in the field near where I live, there was 3 or 4 big, at least 6 pointers, maybe 8 pointers. They're already almost they're really big already.
And they've still got time to grow. They still have
a month or 2, maybe.
No, about a month left to grow.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now it's July, and
I've only seen a 6-pointer up on a hill.
Mid August they start. Mid August they start winding down, and that's about their full peak of where they're going to go out of velvet. I mean, then about late September they start dropping their velvet, but it's very beneficial to you if you can get trail cameras out before August, because you can pattern deer and bucks where they're going to be at in the summer. Because I don't want to go too far in a rabbit hole, but summer, there's summer ways for deer moving in the summer, and then there's fall. And fall, all that green stuff is leaving, and they're trying to. Oh, there goes Owen. The internet's pretty bad out here. So usually, there he is. You good? No, you're good. So. Technical difficulties here. Going back to there's summer. There's where these bucks are at is they're pretty much in the summer. They're everywhere. They're eating, and they don't have to move very much. They literally can just walk around, and there's green stuff everywhere. Because in the fall, you're trying to. I mean, they're out in the fields because they need greenery, which has water in it, and usually in the fall they get all the water they need in the summer. Because all that green around them, they can just reach on a tree and just eat something.
And if you're thinking about the fall, you could put a trail camera where there's acorns, and say there's acorns right on the other side of a field, on the side of a field, and they're falling right next to a field. You could just put your trail camera right next to that, and you'll just see bucks passing by.
And you're gonna need to, if you have a trail camera, they're not too expensive. It varies to what they are, but
we recommend stealth cams or
muddies.
What do you get? Yeah, muddy.
We have
yes.
quite a few multi cameras. They're pretty good.
So what are they?
Moultrie cameras.
Moultrie, yes, Moultrie. Those I have an SD card reader that's Moultrie. They're really good cameras. But
Now,
yeah, I
cell
think
cameras, they're going to be at least like $100. Like a good, decent cell cam, they're going to be over $100.
yeah, over $100 cell cam is gonna be. And you gotta. I tried to get a cell cam, and it's hard to set up on your phone because you usually can't. I had US Cellular on my phone, and I can't get them to. I can't find any trail cameras. Like the trail cameras that have US Cellular are like $400, and I just don't have the money to get that.
Yeah.
But like AT&T, you can connect with AT&T or Verizon. Like
You get $80.
it's like $100, like $120 for a really nice camera.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we use those. I took my cameras down December in the fall. I took them down because that's when they start dropping. By January, they start dropping, and you really don't need to. That's when hunting season ends. But then you got like, and you got in the spring where they start growing. They start getting back into they're pretty much starving in December. They've been eating acorns. They're trying to find something else to be able to eat. But they're by April they start growing, and then you got all this green around them that they can eat, and then when it comes straight to that fall phase, it gets into where these does are going into heat, and they're just grazing on acorns, and they're trying to find does, and then they just starve themselves all over again. So
Yeah.
you got anything on that?
Not really.
It's just a cycle for them. What I've seen.
Like if you have a trail camera up and you're not getting very many pictures, you could just wait till the rut and you'll start getting pictures like out of nowhere.
When the deer start moving.
Yeah, because you got deer moving everywhere in the rut. And one thing that you need to pay attention to, if you're not getting pictures in the summer, in like August, September, even July, you're not getting pictures of them. And especially with mock scrapes, when those bucks come up, and say you're in a really good spot, you got bucks on your camera, and then you go out one day and you set up a mock scrape right exactly where you've been seeing them, and you don't see a thing. Now that happened to me a couple years ago. I put a mock scrape up right where I've been seeing them on the trail. They're walking a bunch of bucks walking through there, and then nothing. And I was confused because that was the first one I put up, and I was like, why are they not coming? Well, when you were over there, they smell, and that's an unusual thing because they were like, that wasn't there before. Why is that there now? But then once if you leave it and you trust yourself and you leave it out there, which I did, around in September and October that's when they start hitting the scrapes. That's when they start finding these hot does. And if you leave it out there, they will think, well, it wasn't danger. It was just a limb fill. And then they start scraping on it. And then, that's what happened to me because it just you find that scrape.
Like a 9-pointer on camera.
Yeah, I got a 9-pointer on camera. I got a 9-pointer about a week before season on camera. I checked my camera about 2 weeks before season, and then I read the SD card. I got a 9-pointer on the scrape, and when I left it out there, and then about 2 weeks later with season, I went out there opening day, and he came right under me at 6 o'clock, and I just made a bad shot on him. I grazed the bottom of him.
Wasn't this with a rifle?
Yeah, it was in youth season, just the 2 days of youth hunting, and grazed the bottom of him. First light, he came right where I wanted him to.
I do remember that. I was like so excited because I thought you killed him, and we searched for like 2 hours. That just couldn't find him.
Because the way my thing was set up, I knew that he was going to cross from his morning feeding that we have in the field, and he was just going to cross right through, hit that mock scrape, and go to bed.
He's still alive to this day, but
we've seen it. We've got him back on camera. He's still on our cameras. He was on last year. We don't know if he's in this year. We don't know yet.
yeah,
we haven't got
he
many
may have
pictures
been
of him.
killed last year.
But we got him on last year. He got bigger, and that just shows you that those mock shows, you leave him out there, he hit it that last week before season. And that's when they start coming out. In October, they start hitting that scrape, and then they're just off from there. And you just need to, it's all about the right timing, the weather. It all depends on that, and where you got your tree stand.
Another thing is, if you're putting trail cameras up in the rut, a lot of the big bucks, like open mature bucks, they like to take a cover. They don't like to get out right in the fields unless there's those. So a lot of times they'll stay up on, like up on the ridges.
Yes.
I know on our property here they've done that. And we've killed several deer because they walked up on the ridges.
Yeah, and if you're looking to place to like a rut camera, like if you're just trying to get pictures, trying to find bucks, trying to, what I did is I just cleared out a spot in the forest. I just got a rake, cleared out a bunch of leaves, and just cleared it out. And when it shows that dirt, there's acorns that come under those leaves. And when you clear that out, those acorns are under the leaves, and you can get pictures that way. I'd have a food plot. I have a little food plot. But yeah, in the food plots, you're hoping in August they don't eat it alive because it's in August and there's so much green around it.
We've had problems with that.
Yeah.
The deer mow it down in August before,
Yeah. Once that green stuff on the ground, because usually the leaves on the ground will start going, and then the leaves on the top on the actual trees, like the greenery on the ground will rot or whatever for fall, and then it'll be the trees. When that green stuff on the ground goes away, they're scattered and they're like, all right, it's fall time. We gotta eat up, and they find that food plot and they just mow it down.
Yeah.
And so that's when you're gonna get pictures.
Growing real good right now.
And that's when you're gonna get pictures about September, August. They're gonna start eating on that. But October last year, I got a buck. He came right to my food plot. And if you're looking for a place, I went down a few big rabbit hole there. But if you're looking for a place to just try to get a picture of a rut buck, like Owen said, go on top of a ridge, find a big oak where these does have been. You think does are there, and throw up a trail camera, because where the does are, the bucks are at.
Yeah.
And they're in the rut. They'll be on your camera. I'm telling you, they'll be there.
3 years in a row, I've sat my camera in the same exact spot, and I've got 8-pointers, 9-pointers, and all that.
And yeah, I think we set them up in the places we do just because you got to be out in the woods. Like, you got to spend time out in the woods and just get to, like, you got to experience these things. And it's not always going to go the way you plan, because it's nature, and it obviously doesn't go the way you always want to plan.
They're living things, they're still unpredictable.
Yeah, they're still unpredictable. This is just what we, as hunters, we see these things. And
and just like I've never killed a buck ever in my life. I get all these bucks on camera. I get so excited, and then all like the deer just disappear just like that in the fall.
Yeah.
In deer season, they get very quick when they start getting shot at and stuff.
Yeah, they when they start getting shot at, they get real shot. I mean, they're wild animals. They're trying to survive.
Like last year, I had a small 6-pointer right in front of me, and I about shot it, but then the safety was on. I said, Matt, and I had it on him and was pulling the trigger. I was like, wait, why is it not pulling? I forgot to turn off the safety.
Yeah, I mean,
and he hightailed down the mouth.
I've done that for turkey before.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I can kill a turkey, but I can't kill a deer with my life depending on it. Some people think that turkey hunting is way, way harder than deer hunting, but deer hunting is like way harder.
Yeah, it's
Because you know whenever the turkey's coming and the deer, they're gonna be there any second.
Yeah, but they're wild animals. They're unpredictable. They're just trying to survive, just like we are. Because do you want to get shot?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nobody wants to get shot. So I think deer are just the same thing. They don't want to get shot. They don't want to die.
Do they know it's season?
No, that's that's
like
it's different.
Some people
How much
think
pressure
they
is on
know
their
it's
property?
actual. Like we've got a lot of pressure on our property.
It's the hunting pressure.
Yeah.
See, like
It's the same principle. Like if you go somewhere and there's like a dude trying to kill you or shoot at you, you're probably not going to drive by his house every day. It's pretty much the same.
Exactly.
Deer hunting.
yes, you're probably not gonna get near him. You're probably not gonna go back to his house and say what's up. Like you're not gonna do that. Just like the deer would not come back to that tree stand you just shot at him and grazed his belly and made a big old cut on his belly, and he probably won't come back there. And if he does, it's because of doe.
Good after.
And yeah,
But
I mean,
you never
it's-
know what's gonna happen. Like our friend Jackson, he shot at a deer from 7 yards and missed. And it came right back.
A
12
Ohio
pointer.
buck.
It
Ohio
came
buck.
right back and he killed it.
Yeah,
Like you never know what's gonna happen.
They're
Don't
still
just lose
unpredictable.
hope if you miss a deer or do
Because-
anything. It might just come right back.
because the rut changes deer so much, it's unbelievable. The levels of testosterone in a deer's body is insane when you in the rut. They just are different deer.
If they
And they're
get shot
so
at, they don't
unpredictable.
care if there's a doe right in that
Because
spot.
there's so many doe. When they find a doe, that's their job. They breed does. That's their job. And I think that's what drives them just crazy. Because they have like
Okay, I'm turning
that
it
just
off.
squeaks. That's not doing that.
I've been bow hunting before, and it was a smaller buck, but it was still like a
Yeah.
good sized deer, and I was going to shoot it, but I stopped it, and then like something went wrong or something, like my stand would clip together because I was using a climber.
Yep.
And it just got done off me, and like didn't like and I had to stand back up because I was like falling out of my stand. I like stood back up and got my stand back up, and then the deer just like ignored me and just started running those again around the food plot.
They just they're different deer. They're different deer when they have does from them. It's insane. Because usually you might hear that like you're hunting and a doe comes through. You might have a buck behind it, and even if it does have a buck behind it, it's fun. People have told me that they just sit there, and they're right in front of the buck's just chasing them in circles, and they do something. Those does sees them or smells them, and the does spook, and the buck's just like, I don't give a crap, and just chases them everywhere.
Yeah, didn't you like whenever you killed this big 5-pointer? Like, didn't you have to like say "mac" like 5 times, like or so?
Yeah,
To stop it
Well, one morning,
because he had his nose down the entire time
I watched
tracking a doe.
2 bucks and a doe on the side of a ridge just hightailing it right through there. And I was like, and they were grunting like crazy coming through there. And I knew that morning, this was like November. This is like prime rut right there. And they're running through, sprinting through the woods. And I was like, well, dang it. I missed my chance on that buck. It was in rifle season. Oh, no, it was muzzleloader season. I had my muzzleloader. And, I missed my chance on him, and I was so mad. I sat there for another 2 hours and never came back, and I was so mad. It was about 10 o'clock. I don't know, 10 o'clock, I think. And it ran by at like 8, and I was so mad because I couldn't get him. And then I got up to leave. And I stood up, walked down the ridge because I was on a big ridge, and they were chasing on the other ridge.
Was this in the morning?
Yeah, they were chasing about 200 yards away on the other ridge, and I could just see it through the woods running through, and they were going in circles. And I came off that ridge and went down in the valley, and got right up on a hump right between the 2 ridges, and he's coming straight hightailing straight down the mountain, straight down that ridge. Just him and another buck, no doe. And it must have been he just started breeding that doe, and he's coming hightailing straight down the ridge with 2 bucks. And I tried to get him stopped, man. He finally stopped about 20 yards away from me, and I shot him, and he ran up the ridge, and that other buck just gored him. I mean, that they were fighting all morning, trying to breed that doe. I don't even know if they bred the doe or not, but I mean, they were fighting all morning over that doe. And
was the other buck bigger than the buck that you shot?
One side was broken off, like the entire one side, but the one side had 4 points, so it would have been an 8.
So I remember that actually. That was FaceTiming you. And
Yeah.
You saw him. You're like, oh shoot, I gotta go.
Yeah, because the one buck ran straight down, full sprint. I shot him, and then he started running back up the ridge, started to die, and all of a sudden I see that buck running full sprint on that ridge right in front of me, and he just hammers that one about to die. The one that was just sitting there swaying back and forth, he just comes full sprint, antlers to the side.
That was probably
Hammers
like
him.
an insane
And
thing
And
to
it was
watch.
like, holy cow. And I called my dad, and he was right up the ridge from me. And I was like, you got to get down here. There's another buck right here. And he hasn't killed me. He passed an 8-pointer. And this thing was pretty big. Like one side was completely snapped off except for like a main beam that was really nice. Another one was 4 points. Straight across, so it would have been a really nice 8-pointer. Old deer. And he's sitting there goring him. I'm calling my dad. I was like, you got to get down here. It's pouring the rain. And yeah, I was like, you got to get down here. There's these 2 things goring him right in front of me.
That was the day that I missed out on the. Wait,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't the day.
Yes, it was. You missed out on 2 deer, 2 bucks, and
Was it?
you missed out on a
I don't
monster
know.
8-pointer and a 6-pointer.
Oh yeah, that
Same
8-pointer
day.
was like that. Maybe he was probably as big as this 9 right here.
Yeah, and that was probably
Probably this size, maybe.
yeah.
But
I mean, it just shows you they're different deer. We went on a huge rabbit hole. We're supposed to talk about trail cameras.
yeah, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about when is the best time to put up your trail camera.
I'd say like late May,
Late May.
like May
I
20th.
would do it around middle July, early August.
I put mine out
Start
July.
getting their glanders in.
I put mine out June 14th or something like that.
I put mine
And
out.
I wasn't expecting any pictures. I got a couple 8-pointers on that are still growing. I got them before July 4th, so they got a long
They
time to
still
grow.
got some time to grow.
Hopefully
So
they
they
get
can
up
be
there,
like
but-
10.
But yeah, putting them out. You need to put them out before. You got to put them out before July. I mean, put them out before August. Is your safe
I'll
bet?
probably put mine up next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, today is July 5th, and you got to put them up before August. That's your goal there.
Yeah.
And you want to make, you don't want to be, I'm not saying be in the woods. You want to be in the woods as much as you can get in there.
Yeah.
Scouting, yeah.
Scouting.
But try
And-
not to let them know. Try not to be seen or heard. Like, where you're hunting stuff. If you go
Yes.
scouting.
Try
Be
your best
smart,
not to spook
Because
them.
where you're hunting or where you're putting up this trail camera, you go through and you scout this area and you're scouting it out and you're like, all right, I'm gonna put a trail camera right there.
You probably got to be more
Put the trail
careful
camera
than
there.
you are whenever you're hunting.
Yes, put the trail camera there. Leave it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Come back, or what? Even if you come back for 3 weeks, don't go check that camera.
Like at the end of this week, I got to go check my camera because I put it
Yeah.
up a
2
week
weeks
or
ago.
two. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And so it's what is it?
Another good thing, I mean, I don't know if it's not as much, but walking in there, get your cameras, you leave scent from your big. Another good thing I found is if you just have 2 SD cards, just go and swap them. They don't have to go like back and forth like every time. You
Yeah.
have to go get it, bring it back, take it back, and come back again. Just
Yeah.
do it once.
Bring your SD card. So yeah, check them. Just take the SD card out, put another one in, so you can be out there as fast as you can. And so I've heard if it's wet, your scent stays in the ground longer. Now, if it's dry, your scent will be
And
out there.
sometimes, like, if it's raining, it will cover your scent sometimes.
I don't know. I've heard that it lingers in the air, like right above, like in the dew, after a rain, it'll linger.
But what if it's like raining while you're?
If it's just raining, pouring,
it'll probably.
I don't know. I really couldn't tell. I don't want to say anything stupid or anything like that, but like, or disinform y'all or whatever. Misinform y'all, what the crap I'm saying to say.
And another good thing to put down, so my grandfather, on our property, we have this spot, it's my grandfather's favorite spot. So it's like, it's a little clearing right in between two ridges, and it's like in a ravine almost. And we have a single man, and he always smells because his scent is like, it drifts around. And we put a salt block, right? Pure salt block, big, looks like a big, like crystal, so it's like $20. And we put it out there. There's not any trails are really around. I went out there last week. It's now for 3 weeks now. There's trails. The deer have made new trails coming plumb across the whole entire ridge to get to the salt block, and they're worn this deep into the ground. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They come and they've worn it probably this deep where the salt block is. It's just mud. They've been licking it so much.
I know. Yeah, that's
why I'm going to put a trail camera there and a few other spots.
Yeah, where was my train of thought going? What was I going to say, Owen? What was I talking about?
I don't know. But also, real quick thing, I'm going to make a big YouTube video on my channel. Like I said, name's Owen. I'm going to make a video where I put my trail cameras up. So next week.
Yeah, we got a video coming too about our trail cameras.
Yeah.
Of us
So check
setting
out
them up.
both channels on YouTube for our video. We're going to be both coming out with trail cam videos. That's just usual though. You get usual videos.
Couple trail cam videos whenever you're putting them up.
Yeah, definitely go check out Names Owen.
When he said type in names, do NAME apostrophe after. If you don't do the apostrophe, I'll say like something that apostrophe.
Yeah, remember that apostrophe.
Go subscribe to him.
Go subscribe to him. He's really good. But yeah, I think. What was I talking
Do
about?
we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I think a couple of these bucks right here, they were killed in the exact same spot. Well, not the exact same spot, like in a 100-yard radius of each other.
I mean, yeah.
Wasn't it these two right here? That 10-pointer and that 8-pointer, the big one?
Yep.
Yeah, my
My
pawpaw killed both of those. This one, my pawpaw shot a year before and found it the next year, like right in the exact same spot, and that year he killed that one. Like the big 10-pointer up there.
Yeah. The biggest deer I've ever seen was at my grandma's house in like Pembroke area in Virginia, and I was just scouting it was in the evening in about mid-August, and I just popped up for this little ledge in the middle of a big field, and I just seen this huge rack. I'm talking, it was at least a 12 count, but it was getting like 3 or 4 of these. I mean, they were giant.
Yeah.
And in the same year, my brother hunted there, and he saw a 16-pointer. It was like the one that had all those things. It was
Like I just like.
and we've never seen it again.
So I've never seen anything correct at that
Like,
high of a caliber.
One time, like it was so
That's pretty
windy, like we didn't think the deer could my dad was gonna do some rattling antlers, and I had this one shot 243, and I was like 8 at this time, and we thought they couldn't hear it because we were on the top of this hill, right, sitting on a food plot, and we thought we couldn't even hear my dad rattling it, like doing his rattling antlers. And out of nowhere, my pawpaw says, "Big buck." And we see this rack on a bush about this tall just peeking over, and he comes out. And as soon as he comes out, he looks up at the stand. He knew that we were going to be there. Like, it was kind of weird because as soon as he looked up, 10 seconds later, he was gone. Because, like, it was just bad.
So in that, all right. So he told the story just a little bit wrong. Now Now, I'm not going to try to be mean or anything,
Whenever
but I'm going to tell the story that my papa told me. The person that was sitting.
I was scared of the kick.
All right. He was a little bit younger. He's 13 now. He was like
8.
You were not 8. All right,
8 or
you
9.
were like 10.
8 or 9.
I'll give you 10. I think you were 11, but I'll give you 10. Okay? And so he's out there with like a 243 or something.
Yeah, my
243.
dad.
Yes.
I was so scared to shoot it because my dad said it kicked like real hard.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that happened to me as well.
And
I was like 7.
That thing was huge.
So now I'm gonna tell you the story of my papa, and I'm not gonna be mean.
That thing was like a 12-pointer though.
It was not a 12. He
Yes,
said
it
it was a
was.
really nice 8, and he said as soon as it walked out, he said big buck, and that thing went behind the bush with its head down, and he said raise your gun, and Spencer raised his gun,
shaking like.
all right. Spencer's raising his gun, shaking like a leaf, and he's dying. And Papa said, shoot it.
I feel like I'm going to pee my pants at this moment.
Papa said, shoot it. It came out behind that bush. He said, shoot it. That thing, look, Spencer's sitting over there moving like crazy.
Papa said,
he's sitting there shaking so bad. It's not even cold outside. He's sitting there shaking, and he's got that bad deer fever. And that thing looks up, and he sees him shaking. He's like, heck no, I'm getting out of here. That thing runs.
He turned around, and my papa tried to get a good shot at him.
My papa just threw up the gun. He had it behind him. He grabbed that gun, threw it over, and pow, missed it. So, I mean... And
that still haunts me till this day. Like, I've got the picture in my head of that buck just looking straight at me. Like...
What'd you say, Owen?
What'd you say, Owen? Okay.
Oh, what'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I've missed a doe before because it was the first time I ever hunted by myself. I was crossbow hunting.
Yeah.
I was looking out to the field because I see some big old does over there, like kind of working way to me a little bit. And I looked over, and they were just like 20 yards away from me, and they just get the shake because oh my gosh, there's a deer up there. So I lifted up, shaking like crazy. I shot the leather with the crossbow.
Yeah.
I was just shaking because I was like, oh my gosh, I was gonna kill this deer. It was my first time. I didn't. Yeah.
You think that's good for the podcast? I think that's good for our first podcast.
Yeah, like my first deer was a button buck, and that's still my only deer to this day. And I remember that I was like, "Oh, this is a trophy."
Yes.
And my dad, he like tried to skin out the head, and I was like, "Oh yes," and you could just barely see the nubs on it. And I said, "Can we keep the horns?" And my dad said, "Maybe." And
he
then
killed him with milk on his lips.
Yeah, that thing. No, it didn't have milk on its lips, but like he skinned the head, and then I kind of touched the horns, and one of the nubs fell off. So I don't have that skull anymore.
I'm telling you right now, his mom was clueless when she came back in that field.
Oh,
she was like, "Where is my
dropped
son?
like just
Where is my son?"
We didn't even
right
think we
now.
even killed it. Like I was about to shoot another doe. Like I didn't even think I even killed it, and I said, "I think I see something moving up and down," and it was the buck, but he had this big a hole in his side. And he was just laying there, breathing, but he died. Like, he was just involuntary movement, obviously.
Nice gut shot on it, I'm kidding.
Dude, like, right behind the shoulder. The thing was facing towards me, like, at a little angle, and I just bang right there. Because my paw said, get it the best shot you can. And I was just sitting there. And, yeah. I killed it. Yeah, I could pick that thing up. I was 9, and I could pick that thing up on my, I was probably like, no, the first time I ever went hunting with Paul was whenever I was 7 and I killed the deer. So, yeah, I was 7 and I could pick that thing up like this. So.
But yeah, so I think that's it for the podcast. We went on a huge rabbit hole.
Yep.
So, one thing you need to remember here is go subscribe to Names Owen.
And obviously this.
And don't forget the apostrophe. You gotta have in names. You gotta have apostrophe. And go subscribe to Names Owen. And just thank him. Give him a little clap right now for him being in the
If you want to
podcast.
learn more about this stuff, you can go to like Deer Habitat Solutions or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of channels out there. I mean,
Hunting
you could watch-
Public.
We're gonna have
Any
more
of those
videos out, and you need to. Yeah, I wish you just watch ours, but
Yeah.
we know some knowledge. But yeah, I think hopefully just go ahead and comment on our video and
Just
tell us if you want more podcasts, and if you
or
want
tell
more
us what to
podcasts,
do in the
tell
next
us and give us some
podcast.
ideas.
Yes.
Just go down below, comment, like, give us an idea on what you want us to do in our next
And
podcast.
Real fast, trail camera thing. So my favorite setup, I would prefer just from my favorite setup.
Yeah.
Would be on the top of the ridge, below a giant oak tree with a salt block, and have a trail camera on that.
Yeah,
Salt block. Okay.
perfect.
They track deer like crazy.
I know.
The deer, they need minerals, and they're addicted to salt. They love salt. And
Yeah.
They in these mountains, they don't get much mineral.
No, they don't.
They just come. And it makes your antlers grow.
Are there like any like
'Cause it's a
natural
rock.
minerals? Like
Yeah, I mean,
like
what they eat.
It has salt in it.
So like what they eat like in Iowa and like all these things, cornfields. Like say you got a cornfield. Now I'm not saying there's not in Virginia. Like Virginia can have crazy good food plots. We just don't have
like
well, you might have big one. We don't have the equipment because we live up in a mount. I mean, we have our land has mountainous.
My papa has a little tractor with a little like disc or something.
Yeah.
Disc up a tiny little big plot.
I mean, yeah, he could disc up food plots. Like
we hand seed it and just
Yeah.
turnips, whatever out.
yeah, we have. I mean, you could do little food plots, but like out in Iowa where they don't have rocky. This is not. It's not a
literally
rocky
like
place.
this the entire state.
I mean, it's flat.
It's just this.
and then a little bit of
Yeah,
that. and
I
then-
mean, we just have ridges, rocks, and you can't really plant anything because there's so many rocks, and it's. But out in Iowa and
if
everything,
you want to describe Iowa
How
and
much-
Virginia's differences with your hands, this is Iowa and this is Virginia.
but I think in Iowa, in like places up north, they have just flat ground and it's just lush dirt. They have just crazy good
Like cornfields.
planting. They could just throw out a seed. I mean, I would love to see a difference. You throw out a seed, like just say throw and grow. Just a simple thing like throw and grow. Throw it out into Virginia. Throw it out and just in the mountain and see what it does.
Yeah.
It might grow a little bit of clover, a little bit of grass. But then you throw it out in like Iowa and it's like
2 feet tall. You know?
out at 2 feet tall, just growing as
Okay, we're going
crazy
to
as
rabbit
grow.
hole right
We
now.
are. But I
Okay.
think go comment, tell us what you would like to do in our next video, and yeah,
See y'all
I
next
think
time.
subscribe to Names Owen, and yeah,
See y'all next time.
see you next time.
Let's go.